a recent statement was credited to the publisher of the Champions newspaper, Chief Emmanuel Ajayi, describing Yorubas as political rascals. What's your reaction to this?
Well, to start with, I would say the statement is rather unfortunate and, in fact, unexpected of an elderly person. I don't want to say an elder statesman, but an elderly person like him. But I'm not surprised again, because, you know, perhaps after the outcomes of the last election, I know there are a whole lot of reaction. Perhaps maybe their expectation was too high, you know. Maybe they thought Obi could win the presidential election, which to me is quite unfortunate because they are not being strategic. It is the same people who have been destroying INEC offices, materials, equipment, killing even their own people, you know. And again, they didn't come to they thought that only the Igbo votes would deliver Obi's presidency. So I would say because they are bad losers, forgetting that politics is game. Someone will lose, someone will. But of course, that's coming from Chief Ajayi. It's quite unfortunate, and I would say we don't expect such from him. And given the relationship that even some Yoruba organizations and elders have been, you know, the effort they've been making over the years, what they call a handshake across the Niger, trying to see how the Yorubas and the Eastern people work together. Because if you look at it, place the Nigerian situation on the table, there's no different. All of us suffer the same thing. Is it this over-centralization of issue? Is it poverty? Is it insecurity and what have you? And a reasonable person will not utter such statements at this point.
So there's been condemnation and reactions towards the issuance of such a statement by Chief Ajayi. Even despite that, we still have the fact that there are some elements that are still continuing to fan the embers of ethnic discord. For example, recently, we also had Simon Ekpa asking the Igbos to have a sit at home, declaring a sit at home here in Lagos, and asking the Igbos to start making attempts to relocate their businesses. What's your take on this?
I say the guy is very funny. He sit down somewhere far away from the eastern, from Nigeria, you know, issuing order. As far as I'm concerned, we as Yoruba people, at the level of AYDM, you know, representing, you know, over 200 grassroots organizations and self-determination group, it's a welcome development. Let them relocate their businesses to the east. That is one. Then two, who is going to lose? We don't think Yoruba will miss anything. We'll be very happy, you know, to even see them go immediately without any hesitation. You know, in fact, they are being stupid. They are not being strategic about their approach to this, their self-determination. Yes, everybody has, we believe that as indigenous people, you know, to Nigeria, we have right to self-determination. And of course, we don't begrudge them, but that should be done within their own sphere of influence, at least in the East. So if they want Biafra, oh, so be it. But they are not learning from history, like I said. Look at the trade. Is it spare parts? Is it just all the textile? Mention whatever trade. These trades, in fact, have their origin, you know, in the West here. And the Westerners started all these businesses before in fact, majorly they came after Civil War when they had nothing. When they had nothing after the war, it was the same Yoruba that gave them the, a kind of opportunity to start their lives again. So, and that's why they are not learning from history. So they let them sit at home, but Yoruba will open their own shops, and they know that they will be the loser. So let them try it and see. But again, it is very important to sound this warning that for the fact that Yoruba as a people, we don't make noise. Does not mean that we don't know how to pick our battles. In fact, for the Easterner, the Civil War, if we look at their war history, the Civil War was their first warfare experience with other people. But in Yoruba, Yoruba fought several battles, whether with Fulani, with what we call Daomi. And in fact, they even have a civil war that lasted about a century. So we are used to war. We are used to fighting, but we don't fight we don't fight silly. We don't fight a fight that will put our people, in jeopardy and our lands in ruin. But of course, I know that Yoruba people can defend their own. They can defend themselves anytime. So EPAs will learn from the Civil War that it was their inability to mobilize their neighbors, to support their cause that led to the failure of the first attempt to have Biafra. And the way they are going about it, the same fate will befall them. And in fact, it will be more devastating this time around than what they have before.
Now, there are also palpable fears that members of the ESN, that's Eastern Security Networks, are already finding their way down to Lagos in order to protect Igbo interests. And if there are attacks on Yorubas or Yorubas individual or Yorubaland, what kind of response will Yorubas actually give to that kind of attacks?
Well, we know that the security situation in Nigeria is very porous. It's not peculiar to the West. And unfortunately, again, we have a kind of political leadership who, after their own personal and pecuniary interests, power and money, and they don't take the security of the people seriously. They keep on popping money, to empower the Nigerian police and other security agencies, not controlled by them, instead of empowering our own security network. That is Amotekun point of view. But of course, government aside, the people aside, well, all I will say is that when we get to the bridge, we'll cross it, definitely.
In one of your recent statements released by your organization, you have said that, and I quote, the positions of Iwanyawu and IPOB are the same and have shown clearly that Yoruba people who innocently drum support for alliance with the Southeast are doing so in vain. Some have said this was an attempt to cast aspersions at Afenifere leadership that actually threw its weight behind the Southeast cast for presidency. And we've seen that Afenifere leaders actually also throwing their weight behind the statements that was credited to Iwanyawu. And we've even seen Afenifere sacking 2 of his national officers for issuing statements condemning that, instead supporting Iwanyawu. What's your take on this? Is there a schism or division among the leadership of the Yorubas themselves?
No, see, there's no division. When we're talking about Yoruba, I don't see, let's also understand this thing very well. The Yoruba people pick their own leaders. I do understand. It doesn't matter whether you are old, whether you are rich, whether you are poor. Every situation throws up a leader in Yorubaland. So what is happening, yes, even it's not only Afenifere that supported the Igbos aspiration, that is Eastern aspiration, Eastern to become president. And they try to rationalize it and say fairness and what have you. So give it to them. That is the way that is their own level of reasoning, and that is the way their own approach to the issue. It was only Afenifere that supported, like I said, there are a whole lot of Yoruba youths who wanted something different. Like in Lagos, for instance, the last 25 years, the only personnel, the only political figure that, that has taken on the political landscape is Tinubu. And any 24, 23 years old person today in Lagos, that's the person who's been seen. And unfortunately, what is the Tinubu that he knows? Tinubu of Agbero, Tinubu of Lasma, Tinubu of Council, responsible local government administration, and what have you. So those ones are there. And don't forget that the Yoruba youth, essentially partook in the NSAS protest, and ever since they remain like that. So as I said, not only Afenifere, but we go to we sincerely believe that if IPOB and IPOB is misbehaving, their leaders like Nwanyawan ought to call them to order. So when we are not seeing that, and for him to now utter such statement, it's very clear that they are, in fact, that the IPOB people are executing their own thoughts. And of course, historically, I don't know what they find in Lagos. We give them comfort, to do their businesses. But it seems, well, it is inherent in them. I'm very sorry to say. I have a lot of friends from the East that we have a mutual respect for each other, and I respect them for who they are. But there is this thing inherent in the Igbo people. Wherever they are, they want to dominate. They have in fact, give one Igbo person a shop or a room in a house. Before you know it, and my brother, they occupy and then chase everybody away. So I don't know. In fact, even go to the north, the northern part of the country. Yorubas have been in the north before Nigeria. Before 1914. And there hasn't been any issue between whether Hausa or Fulani and Yoruba over there. So why is it that wherever they are, they have the same problem? So the Lagos and Southwest, they now suddenly forgot where they came from, and they want to dominate everybody. South Africa, anywhere, even in Dubai, wherever they go, they want to dominate, they show themselves, And it's quite unfortunate. They need reorientation. They must know that God has given everybody their own sphere of influence. Let them go and develop their own area and, stay there. So, well, of course, like ECMA, that said to relocate their businesses to the east, let them go there. So whoever want to do business with them will go there. So, and stop this attempt at trying to grab what does not belong to them. Yeah.
What are your final thoughts with regards to this issue? What are the demands? And I also like to get your perspective on the fact that even the Lagos State government and security forces have kept a mute indifference as far as these threats are concerned. Isn't that a cause for worry?
Well, I told you that, the political leadership are not conscious of, the historical responsibility placed on their shoulders. It's not just about constructing roads and bridges. It's about protecting the lives of everybody here. Yes, as people, Yoruba, we are very liberal. Our worldview is live and let live. So maybe they thought it's unreasonable that a reasonable human being cannot utter such statement. But then we don't take chances. So what we do is that we leave government aside, then mobilize our own people to build their own security. So that's we will protect ourselves.